Do you have an item with a story to tell? Experience the Mississippi Antique Showcase April 17 and 18 at the CAPS Entrepreneurial Center in Stoneville. For a $100 donation, you can bring one item for an expert appraisal and enjoy food, cocktails, and PBS Passport membership. Attend as an observer for $60 and watch the appraisals live. Choose your time slot today and be part of this special MPB event. Visit mpbonline.org and get your tickets today. Do you have an item with a story to tell? Experience the Mississippi Antique Showcase April 17 and 18 at the CAPS Entrepreneurial Center in Stoneville. For a $100 donation, you can bring one item for an expert appraisal and enjoy food, cocktails, and PBS Passport membership. Attend as an observer for $60 and watch the appraisals live. Choose your time slot today and be part of this special MPB event. Visit mpbonline.org and get your tickets today.
Okie dokie, folks. Welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing, and for the next little while, we're going to be talking about gardening. I'm not going to try to sell you anything, and I may not know everything. I know there's some stuff I don't know because there's big old gaps in my knowledge, but it's a call-in program. It's a sort of a community type thing, family and friends. And so if you've got some things you'd like to share, give us a call. It is a live program, and it's toll-free wherever you are, 1-877-MPB-RING. And me and Java and all the folks here at MPB, we welcome you. Let's sit back and relax and just sort of do a good old southern chin wagging about gardening. But I want to start off by Java. How'd y'all do? You make it through Easter and all that?
Yeah, we made it through Easter. Unfortunately, we spent Easter burying my grandfather.
Oh, so, man, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that was how we spent Easter. But we, even within all of that, we were able to give out Easter baskets and have a good time. And, it was kind of extra special because with funerals, family gets together and stuff like that. So it was cool.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to hear that. But, it was pretty weather, though.
Yeah, it was great. It was great weather. And like I said, we got a lot of pictures from, cousins and family members and stuff. So it was cool.
Good. How's Mama and them doing? Everybody all right?
Yeah, everybody's fine. I mean, I've been joking because death has been in our little circle for a little bit, and the kids they bounce back like rubber bands, man. It's nothing phases them. Like, okay, what's for dinner?
You got any little chicken peeps?
Oh yeah. Any more yellow peeps?
Yeah, there you go. Well, it's been a kind of interesting week for me. I just got in from England Monday night. I mean, that's only 4 days ago.
You've been on a whirlwind.
I have been, and as soon as I got back from that, had to get ready to go up to I had to get ready, but I got to go back up to the Delta for a really fun presentation. By the way, we knew we were back in the South, Java, because we landed in Atlanta, and the TSA agent, Susan, was kind of fumbling around for a passport, and this female TSA agent, she said, "Y'all together?" And I said, yeah. She said, y'all good, go on.
Just like that.
Yeah, y'all good, go on. And also, the taxi driver from the airport, he wouldn't let us out of his van until we watched a little bit of a video he had done of Howlin' Wolf. This is not the way they do it in other parts of the world. You can't, excuse me. No, hang on a second. I want to show you a video I took of Howlin' Wolf. So anyway, we got plenty of stuff to talk about. Got some callers coming in, but I would like to mention one other thing. A shout out to Sean Singleton, the 9-year-old banana guy we've talked with.
Yeah.
He has a cat named Silver, and he sent me a picture. It wasn't a great picture. He's going to do another one. A cat named Silver who sits perfectly still and watches the Gestalt Gardener on live stream in England.
No, that's a lot.
I
That's a fancy cat.
I guess. We got all sorts of stuff to talk about. Interesting time in Clarksdale. Going to be at the farmers market downtown Jackson by the Coliseum tomorrow. But we got plenty of that time to talk about that. But we're here to yak with folks. We're going to start out with Lewis up in South Haven. Good morning, Lewis. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
So far, so good. Glad to talk to you. What you got going on?
I cut down a crepe myrtle also there's a vacant spot in my yard that I have nothing growing in it, and I would like to put no more grass in that spot.
No.
So what is your recommendation for no more grass?
Well, there's no such thing as no mow grass, but basically the closer we have to no mow grass is mow what grows grass. And just, set your mower on kind of a high setting, and then just cut what, every now and then just cut it back. They have to do that along the interstate, along the roadsides, but, you don't have to cut it all the time. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be Asian turf grasses, but basically if you want a lawn, kind of a flat effect, you got to mow it because everything wants to go back towards trees. Everything we do, if you don't mow it at all, it's going to grow up into weeds and wildflowers and then small shrubs, and so you're going to have to cut it at least a couple of 3 times a year. And the best way to do that is just mow what grows.
Well, what would you recommend for zone 7? And I wouldn't want to put Bermuda grass in that spot.
No, you're right. Well,
out of a shady area.
Yeah, we have some good grasses. I'm drawing a total blank. There is a native grass, a Bahia grass, Bahaia. That's what you see along the interstates. It's kind of tough grass. It's, have to have a sharp mower or a sharp blade or mow at a high speed. But Bahia grass has been around for a long time, and it doesn't get real tall. And so that would be a good one. And there's another one. I'm just drawing a total blank because I just got here and I'm just still kind of woozy. But, mostly what I would do is this fall, throw you some clover out there, and just the rest of the summer, is it just bare grass, bare dirt out there?
Bare dirt.
What about a ground cover, Felder? Because I'm just throwing out suggestions.
Yeah, ground cover work, but unfortunately, even a ground cover, you're going to get little trees coming up in it. See, so sooner or later, you're going to, maybe if you want a no-mow lawn, instead of grass, just plant your little group of trees out there. It's okay. You ride around town, you see a lot of yards that have trees instead of grass. And that's the lowest maintenance, is put a few trees out there and just let them have a wooded lot instead of an artificial prairie, which is what a lawn is.
Well, the Bahia grass sounds better than the others that were mentioned.
Yeah, well, so stay tuned. There is another grass, and I've just drawn a complete blank about what it is, and I know somebody will call in and help us out, or they'll send us something on email or something. I just can't remember it, but it is a native grass. It's a little raggedy looking, not pretty like St. Augustine or Bermuda, but it is a low-growing, low-maintenance type of grass.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Lewis, you think you cut that crepe myrtle down. It's going to be back.
Well, the sprouts keep coming up, and I keep poisoning them, and it seems like they're getting less and less. So.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Anyway, stay tuned, and I may have an epiphany and remember the grass I just can't think about right now.
And speaking of community, maybe somebody in the YouTube chat. I said we got Timothy, we have Margie here this morning, and some other.
I know Timothy knows.
And some other listeners.
I know Timothy knows.
I didn't want to put Timothy on the spot.
I'm going to.
But yeah, you can put some suggestions in the YouTube chat.
All righty. Well, I hope that helps, Lewis. Hope it helps. I can't. It's just one of these things I just can't remember. Anyway, there's no such thing as a no maintenance lawn in the deep south, because it wants to grow up into trees and vines and shrubs, and that's just the way things grow. So you have to. It's like shaving. You can have a beard, but that's about it. So anyway, let's go now to down to Ocean Springs. Boy, talk about from the top to the bottom, from almost to Memphis to Ocean Springs. Chip, how you doing this morning?
Yep. Good morning.
What's up?
Well, I'm calling about grass as well, a different species, though, and I hope you have a good answer.
Oh, boy.
For about the last 2 years, my mom's home. I live in Hawaii, but my mom's home's here in Ocean Springs. So the last 2 years, she's been fighting torpedo grass in her garden bed.
That's a tough one. Is it in her lawn or in flower beds or what?
So far, well, she keeps her lawn nice and manicured, so it could be in the lawn, but she's cutting it at least once a week.
Yeah.
It is in the flower beds, and we have tried everything as far as, Roundup, the glyphosate, and, we just can't. We paid somebody to hand pull it.
Yeah.
We even went as far as last fall. I had someone install architectural shingles. They raked everything out, and they put architectural shingles across the entire bed. And would you believe it's poking through?
Oh yeah. It as Aunt Maybe says about gardens in general, them that can grow will grow. But there is a herbicide that's safe. It works like glyphosate. It's not going to hurt your other plants. It's not going to poison the environment. It's not deadly poison, but it kills only true grasses. And there's several brands. I can't remember. I don't try to keep up with them, but they're grass only. You spray them on, when the stuff is young. Pull it, get rid of as much as you can. Let the new growth come out. A little bit when it's actively growing. And one is called Grass Be Gone. I think this one called Cleanup starts with a K. Anyway, there's several brands, and it only kills grasses. It won't hurt monkey grass, which is a lily. It won't hurt irises. It only kills true grasses. And you can get it at most garden centers. I just can't remember the brand name. But there are grass-only herbicides.
Okay. I'll start researching Grass Be Gone and take it from there. And thank you very much.
Oh, I want to ask you something. How long have you been back from Hawaii? How long have you been back in the South from Hawaii? Hawaii.
Well, I go back and forth. I have some property on the Big Island.
Okay.
Of course, I went to school out there, but I go back and forth for business at this point. But I try and stay close to my mom as she's getting older. And, family's here. I grew up here. So, it's a great place to have property. If you like to grow things, it's so fertile out there. Especially in the Big Island with the volcanic soil. It's you can basically throw a branch into the bush and it's gonna take.
Yeah,
it's gonna root and
in tropical plants, you have stuff that we just dream about. People go to Hawaii, they go to the Caribbean, they go to the tropics. They don't want to grow that stuff when they come back here. And that's what you have. So I live in England part of the year. And I live in Mississippi part of the year in completely different climates, different kind of plants. But anyway, hey, tell Mama we said hey.
Will do. And I love your show. And DJ Java, keep doing your thing, man. All right, you guys have a good day and happy Friday.
Appreciate that, Chip. Yeah, happy Friday to you too, man.
Okay, now let's we're gonna do a little gamble here. We're gonna gamble that Chico is gonna keep it clean. From Oxford.
He has a nice enough streak.
Good morning, Chico. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, y'all. Felder, I know you told that taxi driver that Hallenwood was and is a great Mississippian.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean that's what this guy he found out. The Susan from England. And see where we live in northern England. We live in Lancashire, which is sort of the Mississippi of England. People, they're cheerful. They talk to each other. You got something in your grocery basket. You go down to London. If you just smile at somebody, they think you're a terrorist. But I live in a part of the country that's just exactly like being here in Mississippi. He heard about that. He's trying to tell her about the blues. We hear more blues in Lancashire than we do in Mississippi. And I just got back from the Juke Joint Festival. So
I'm headed there today. Going to have a big Aves.
Okay, well, that's what we had, big Aves, and I had 3 hot tamales, and the combination made me almost not make it back to Jackson.
Oh Lord! Well, listen, I've got this buddy Boyette, and he ain't cool, and he's so goofy that he couldn't grow a tomato if you were standing there telling him what to do.
Yeah.
But he's got this son Josh who's real cool, and he's so cool that he bought a house in Oxford. And he wants a mulberry tree.
Yeah, that's okay. Mulberries do all right.
Yeah, well, I've got mulberry trees, and I've got this one that I think is about 200 years old. It's about 6 or 7 feet around, and it's gnarly. It's so misshapen, it reminds one of Bear Bryant's face. I'm not kidding. It really is.
Java's shaking his head.
During the ice storm, it had a shoot that was growing off on the ground that was a good-sized tree already, and it leaned over to the ground, and I'm going to have to cut it off. Is there anything that he could salvage off that, which is basically a big tree, to start his own mulberry tree?
Well, mulberry is actually it's hard to move a big mature plant. If you want to move that whole thing, you need to cut it back to just a couple of 3 feet tall and then move it. You can, you know how people call. Sometimes they prune the crepe myrtles into sticks with little balls, look like fists on the end. That's called pollarding, and in a lot of places they do that in mulberry plantations. They cut them back to those balls, so they have lots of shoots in the spring, lots of fruit, and then they cut them back, and they can reach it all. So it does not hurt a mulberry to prune it as hard as you want. And you can also root the small cuttings from last year's growth.
Okay, well, that's what I wasn't going to try and move the whole tree, but I thought if it's a little growth or something, so go ahead and cut it off, right?
Yeah. I mean, it'll branch right back out. You know, like I say, the thing, what they call crepe myrtle with the look like fists on the end. That's the way they do. I've seen mulberry trees that are 100 years old done like that, and it doesn't hurt them at all. More production, as a matter of fact.
Well, let me ask you this. I was going to wait. The leaves are coming out on it now. It's still in the ground. It's still growing. The leaves are coming out on it. And I was going to, before I cut it, I was going to wait until after the mulberries next month. Is there any reason to go ahead and cut it now, or is it be okay to?
It'll be perfectly okay right after you get through blooming. Perfectly okay.
All right. Well, I'm about to drive to Clarksdale and listen to Howlin' Wolf on the way, even though he's from the other side of the state. You know,
I got there Wednesday night, and we heard, drawing total blank. Back in the 662. Who am I talking to, Java?
Oh, that's Christone Kingfish.
Yeah, Kingfish. We heard him. You know, he gave a free concert up there in Clarksdale. He's doing something.
Walking around in the street.
Yeah, we'll go down to Miss D's to the Collective Seed Company. Tell them I said hey. And by the way, they got a Red Panther brewery down there. They got some of the best no alcohol home produced root beer you've ever put in your mouth.
That's 100% true. Amos makes the best root beer I know of. It's even better than Barks. Don't tell anybody I said that.
Tell Amos I said hi.
I sure will. Thank you. See you now.
All right, Java. We did have a good time at Clarksdale. It's sort of like it's so weird because we got married in England. You know, we got the fancy stuff and the little Victorian buildings, and it was all poetic looking. But in England, they think it's so cool that we had our honeymoon in Clarksdale.
Yeah.
Because it is really, really exotic if you're not from here.
Yes, sir.
But we had a really good time, and I'm going to show some pictures later. But we are talking about gardening. If you've got some things on your mind, give us a call. It's toll-free 1-877-MPB ring. I brought some stuff to talk about, but I want to know what's on your minds. So me and Java and John C., Abram, we'll be right back after this.
At the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience in Meridian, we believe in the power of the arts, storytelling, and education, just like Mississippi Public Broadcasting. MPB connects communities across the state with quality programs that inform, inspire, and engage. Their audience is loyal and appreciative of businesses that support public broadcasting, which makes underwriting on MPB a smart investment. Join us in supporting MPB. Learn more at mpbfoundation.org.
Hatred destroys the one who hates. The others that you hated go on about their business, care less.
So the legacy of Medgar Evers is an understanding of our own humanity and of our own responsibility of seeing that in other people.
He is written out of history. He's just not included as Malcolm and Martin. To me, it's the 3 M's, and Medgar is right up there at the lead.
Everlasting, Life and Legacy of Medgar Evers. Watch now on MPB Passport. Visit mpbonline.org for more.
School choice, rural hospitals, voter access. The 2026 Mississippi Legislature will impact you and your family for years to come. MPB brings you At Issue, a weekly analysis of the legislative session and the issues affecting you with perspectives from both sides of the aisle. Brandon Jones and new At Issue analyst Rebecca Staples join me, Wilson Stribling, every Monday at 5 p.m. only on MPB Think Radio and wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
All righty, folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing, and we're going to be talking about gardening. And I've got some things to share, but I want to hear what's going on in your garden. Before we do that, though, Java, we were just talking with Chico about Clarksdale, the Juke Joint Festival, and I mentioned this place down at the bottom of Delta Street. Delta Avenue, excuse me. It's a garden center called the Collective Seed, or just the Seed, in downtown Clarksdale. I gave a lecture from the back of my pickup truck, and we stayed at the Travelers Inn, which is really, really cool. And I want to thank Ann Williams for setting all that up. They got a really cool river art walk that's going on. But I want to show you something. This is We stayed in the Travelers Inn, which is right downtown in Clarksdale. We're driving to the collective to give the talk, and we made the most incredible racket. It was just incredible, noisy. And Susan said, nobody's looking. Nobody's looking at us. We got all this traffic and all, and we're making all this racket. I said, because we're going down Delta Avenue in an old pickup truck, and they think it's just our brakes or something like that. But I want them to put up, if you could, picture number 2, because the boys at the Red Panther Brewer Company,
they put the
they put some locally brewed Mississippi beer cans on the back of my pickup truck.
That's all right. Mississippi Hazy and what's that? Clarksdale Ale?
Yep. Anyway, we were making all this racket, and I said, Susan, they're not looking at us because of the noise. They just think that's the way old pickup trucks sound. Anyway, I want to thank the boys at Red Panther Brewer Company. That was a whole lot of fun. I'm going to be at the Jackson Farmer Market tomorrow, Saturday, from 9 o'clock to about 1 o'clock. In my truck, going to back it up, got plenty of stuff to talk about. The theme this year, it's right off High Street at the Coliseum, is a Native Plants Fest. We got some people with some native plants. The Garden Clubs of Jackson is going to have a display about native plants and wildflowers. And it's something near and dear to my heart. So we're going to be talking about native plants, but also anything gardening, anything related to gardening. We're going to be talking about that. So come on down, bring some stuff if you want me to look at it. But most of it's just going to be a real informal chin wagging. I'll make a couple little short speeches here and there. But come on down to the farmers market, 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, downtown by the Coliseum, right off Interstate 55 and High Street. Look forward to seeing some of y'all there. I did have a few little odds and ends, Jive, I wanted to share. One, let me show a picture we did I guess we did this probably 3 weeks ago. In March, I planted some potatoes. Picture number 3, I planted some potatoes in a blue bucket. Well, it wasn't blue. I spray painted blue because why not? But I planted some potatoes, and I filled it up with, real shallow, filled it up with leaves. And you can see at the back of that, there's something poking up out of the
little green spot.
That's right. Well, that was 2.5 weeks ago. Let's look at picture number 4, same garden, 2.5 weeks later.
Oh.
Yeah. Got all these potatoes growing up above the mulch. Well, the reason I piled all those leaves and mulch, because potatoes form on the lower stem, not the roots. And if you cover it up really, really deep, then you'll have more potatoes in the shade. So sometime in the next couple of months, I'm going to try to dump all that out and see if I don't have some potatoes.
Now, where you get your potatoes from? Because you grow a potato from a potato, right?
Yeah. You take a potato and you cut it up in little pieces, and when they sprout, you put it, and you plant them real shallow, but it's important to throw dirt up or mulch or something to cover the lower stem up, or they won't make potatoes.
Now, let me ask this question before we move on. What about the potatoes that's in the back of the pantry, and they got the eyes and
plant them.
Just plant them.
Yeah, if you cut them out in a little piece of potato, that's called chitting.
Okay.
Now, I've said that before. That's where the old pirate phrase "chitting me taters" comes from. Anyway, that's what I did. I got some potatoes. I got them from a garden center, from Hutto's in Jackson. And I just cut them up into pieces with the little eyes, and they sprouted, and then I planted them. I also, over the past 3 weeks, while I was gone 2.5 weeks, I planted some peas before I left. Let's look at picture number 5. They came up real thick, too thick. And I covered them up with some insect fabric. I uncovered it for the pictures, but all the peas did well. I'm going to have to come back and thin these out, because a lot of people plant their vegetables real close. And which is fine, it looks great, but they won't produce well unless each plant has a little elbow room. So I'm going to take some scissors, and I'm just going to cut off all but maybe one every 3 or 4 inches. And I'm not sure if you can eat pea sprouts or not, but anyway, if you can, I'm going to have plenty to do. So give us a call, folks. It's toll-free 1-877-MPB-RING. I can't tell if there's...
Yeah, we got a few callers.
Okay, it just got a number. I got a red and green.
We're going to go to red, and that's Mike in Tupelo.
Okay, good morning, Mike. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Good morning, guys.
Howdy.
Congratulations on your marriage, and welcome back to the States.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
My question is about zinnias. I had a bunch of them come up sort of volunteer last year, and I saved the blossoms, and I dried them, and so right now I've just gone through and kind of shredded them out, and hopefully there's some viable seeds in there. So I've got a couple of plant patches in in front of the house with some bad dirt that get mostly sun all day.
Yeah.
What's the best way to plant them without getting them too thick and kind of making sure they survive well?
Well, luckily, zinnias are among the easiest seeds to sprout. If you just throw them on top of the ground and just wet them down, don't have to want, just wet them down once every day or two. Within a week or so, they'll be sprouted just on top of the ground. You don't want to water them too heavy because it'll wash them all away. But if you could rake or somehow lightly break up so it's not just hard dirt that they're rattling around on, they'll do a whole lot better. So if you could lightly work up the dirt or rake it or just rough it up a little bit, just throw the seed out there and wet them down every day or two. If you want to keep them from being too thick, which is not a problem with zinnias, but what you could do is get you some potting soil or compost or sand and mix the seeds with that because it's easier to throw a volume out than a whole bunch of little seeds. See, so if you mix it with something else, it dilutes them and just throw them out there.
Okay, that's a good idea. And then I think you commented last week on the oak tree crop. I've got 10,000 oak trees here in my yard, about 3 inches tall if anybody needs any. My neighbor has a post oak tree. It was a really big, it's a massive, it's one of the prettiest trees I've ever seen, but it is the worst weed in my yard. I just put on some gloves and just get down and I just pull them, drop them on the ground, let them mulch themselves. Well, I think the John Deere's going to have to take care of these.
There you go.
Anyway, thanks a lot for the tips on the zinnias and continue to keep up the good work on the show. I like the 2-hour format.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And by the way, Java, I'm starting to get a lot of concerns from people who have weird stuff in their yards. And there's one in particular that is I don't know how to say it because I don't want to be too harsh, but it's ugly, okay? It's just ugly. There's a fungus that gets on azaleas and camellias. It only gets on the new growth when we have cool, wet weather. Doesn't keep going all summer long. It's only this time of year, but it's called azalea camellia leaf gall, and it makes the leaves look like you've got a bad infected thumb on each leaf. The only way I can put it. It's ugly.
That's what I'm trying to picture it.
It's called azalea leaf gall. If you Google it, you'll see it's a nasty-looking thing. It doesn't really hurt the plants. It's only on the first few leaves in the spring. Plant doesn't care. It's not going to keep spreading. So you can either admire it, if you're kind of a perverted person like I am and like weird stuff, or you can ignore it or just pluck them and toss them. But it's not going to hurt the plant. But azalea leaf gall is if you've never seen it before, it's shocking. And it's perfectly okay.
I'm scared to Google it now.
It's okay. It's just a nasty-looking thing. It just looks, I don't know. Can't describe it. And also, we're seeing a lot of fire blight showing up already in pears, particularly the ornamental pears, Bradford pears, those kind of things. But pears and apples are highly susceptible to a bacterial infection called fire blight. It's called that because when it gets into the flowers, the new growth looks like it's been burned. Got really bad looking, just black, dark, chocolatey, almost black looking twigs all over the tree. It's spread from plant to plant but through flowers by bees. It only infects the trees in the spring while they're in bloom. It's not going to kill your tree. Not much you can really do about it. They say, well, just prune it off. Yeah, you can't get it all because the bacteria goes down into the stems below where it's brown. So what I would do is just ignore it. And if it's a real problem to you, you can prevent it next year really easy. This does not hurt bees, but there's a bactericide. It's streptomycin. It's a bactericide. You get it at any garden center, and the brand name is Fire Blight Spray. That's the name of it.
Easy to remember.
Yeah, it's like salt or pepper. It's Fire Blight Spray. If you spray it a couple of times while the trees are in bloom, it doesn't hurt the bees, but it puts a protective film to keep the bacteria from going spread by bees into the flowers. So if you got fire blight, best you can do right now is ignore it. Don't worry about it because everybody else has the same thing. If you want to prevent it next year, fire blight spray will do it. I see a red line in here.
Yeah, this is our last call before we go to our cheesy tune break, and that is Hans in Oxford.
Hans, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Felder. How are you?
Good.
Listen, I have a question. I have some stumps remaining from the ice storm. Took down a couple of trees. Actually, some big gums in our yard, so I tried to get rid of them. But any suggestion how to remove the stumps other than just getting the ground down? Can I put dirt on them and build a fire pot around them? Or?
How big around are they?
They're pretty big. These are, probably like 3 foot diameter leaves.
Yeah, and how tall are they?
They're probably a quarter of a foot. I can cut them down more with my chainsaw, but they're up a little bit.
Here's the deal. You'll come up with if you Google it. Everybody has their opinions about what to do. Everybody. Okay. I work with forestry people. I helped teach the arboriculture tree surgery course at Mississippi State, and I know what works. I know what doesn't work. And if you don't do anything, it'll gradually decompose. But what I do to speed it up, it's real simple, and this is what foresters agree on, or arborists. If you'll just drill some holes in it, 4, 5, 6 inches deep, and then throw some dirt in the holes. You've put because the dirt has got the wood decay fungus in it. But if you'll drill some holes all over it and you throw some dirt, then this time next year you're going to have all sorts of weird mushrooms and stuff like that. But that breaks it down pretty quick. A lot of people say pile a bunch of stuff on top and set fire to it, but I don't know they go for that in Oxford.
I will try to drill holes. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, appreciate it. Oh, I want to ask you this: how'd your yard do in the ice storm?
We're still cleaning up. We did an initial cleanup and just took down a whole bunch of pines that were topped and damaged.
Yeah.
And now we're probably got some more work to do.
Yeah,
but it's getting there.
Well, the reason why I'm asking, because one of the things that they do in Europe and Japan and places, they don't haul stuff off. There's nobody's going to haul stuff off for you. What they do is they'll take the limbs and the branches and stuff, and they'll put them in a long, skinny row, almost like a hedge, and they call it a dead hedge. And that's where you get lightning bugs and the native pollinator bees. If you do it in a distinct shape, people think you do it on purpose. They're not going to hold it against you.
Well, that's some good advice. We put a lot in the forest and kind of made a line around the forest.
There you go. Yeah. Perfect.
That'll work.
All right,
thank you so much.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, Java, I sent a couple of cheesy tunes, and on the live stream, people can hear it, but on the repeat they can't. So, which one are we going with this first time?
Let's go with an oldie but goodie. With the plant man.
The plant man. This is a guy from California. He's a plant man, knows where the plants will grow. So we'll do that. But me and Java and all the folks here at MPB, we've got John C. and Abram back there, and we're going to be talking about gardening for the next hour and a half. So if you want to give us a call, toll-free 1-877-MPB-RING, or if you go to YouTube and type in Gestalt Gardener in the search box, or go to mpbonline.org, you can watch this and see the pictures and all the stuff we're talking about any time of the day or night, 24/7. We'll be right back with more of the Gestalt Gardener here on. We'll be back.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
Together through the years, together in the future. MPB, your stories, our mission.
The Measuring Show.
Since 1970, MPB has been enriching the lives of Mississippians.
Everything we do gives us the chance to grow and learn.
With your support, we are always there whenever and wherever you need us. Together through the years, together in the future. Please consider making a donation at mpbfoundation.org. together through the years, together in the future. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Horticulturalist Felder Rushing, and we're just talking about gardening. Anything that's on your mind. Let's slip over to Meridian and see what David's up to. Good morning, David. How are you?
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Not so bad. So far, so good.
Yeah, what I was calling in about, I wanted to ask about get some information on nematodes.
Okay. Are they in your, like a vegetable garden or something?
Well, I got a raised bed, and I purchased some to put in my garden just because of the grubs.
Yeah.
And wanted to just, since I just put them in there probably about 3 weeks ago, trying to see how do I tell if I'm making any progress.
Yeah. Have you had nematodes there in the past? We're talking about root knot nematodes. It gets on like tomatoes and stuff. Have you had that before?
Yeah. No, not really. Just this is my first time trying that. This is a brand new raised bed that I've actually elevated.
Yeah. Well, the reason I'm asking, nematodes, folks you may not know, it's so tiny, little, looks like a worm. And it feeds on plant roots. There's a whole bunch of different kinds, including some beneficial kinds. But the one we're concerned about in the garden is called root knot nematode. It attaches to the roots of beans and tomatoes and peppers, and it makes these little knots, little galls. It just makes the roots real knotty. Usually, you're not going to have that in a raised bed that's got a lot of organic matter. We see a root knot nematode in gardens that are mostly what I call just dirt. Especially if there's some sandy soil in there. They're real common if you get river sand and work into your stuff. But if you've got a good bit of organic matter in your soil, I wouldn't even worry about root knot. Most of the time, a plant that's healthy will put out new growth and actually outgrow the nematode problem. So unless you found some roots, pull up some tomatoes and got knotty roots, unless you know you got nematodes, I wouldn't think twice about it. But anyway, to answer your question, we don't have a good control for them other than what they call solarization. You can work up your garden, water it really good, nice and watered and loose and all, and cover it with clear plastic, and the sun will shine through the plastic. The solar radiation will heat up the water in the soil, and it will steam the soil, and the plastic keeps the steam there. So you can solarize just by digging up the garden, wetting it down real good, cover it clear plastic for 2 or 3 weeks, and that'll pretty well steam everything out there. And that works best in the spring or the early summer when nematodes are real active, not so much in the fall. But anyway, if you haven't had root knot nematode, if you don't have the symptoms, I wouldn't really worry about it at all.
Right. I was. I guess I should have explained a little bit better. I bought some beneficial nematodes, is what I was.
Okay. Yeah.
So in doing that, I've had them in there about 3 weeks, and I noticed. By the way, I put this was raised bed or elevated bed, and I put cardboard on the bottom, made out of cedar wood. Put cardboard on the bottom, put some wood, some
branches and stuff.
Yeah, branches and stuff in there. Then I had some compost I put in it. Then I put the cow manure on top, and so I'm trying to. Then I put the nematodes in there probably like 3 weeks ago. Like I said, I hadn't seen anything, but the growth is not. I'm not seeing a whole lot of. Everything is good, it's alive, but it's just not.
Well, you're not going to see what nematodes in action. You can't even see them. So you just have to just assume that. Do you have any real dirt in your elevated beds, or is it just organic stuff?
It's just mostly organic.
Yeah. If you can find somebody who's got just some real dirt, plain old dirt dirt, spread about a 2 or 3 inch layer on top and work that into your stuff, your garden will be a whole lot better. It doesn't dry out as fast. It holds nutrients better. But a little real dirt mixed in with 6 or 8 inches of organic matter really does make a difference. And just assume that the nematodes are doing their thing.
Okay, that'll work.
All righty, man.
I appreciate the show. Thank you much.
You bet, David. Thanks for calling. Who we got, Java?
Let's go to John in Madison.
John, what's going on? Good morning, sir.
Hey, congratulations, Felder.
Thank you.
I think I've met her, and she's a sweetie.
She is. She's a keeper. Although she's making me clean my shirts now. She said, you got beans on your shirt. I'm thinking I had beans before we got married. But now she tells me what to do. Java. You know what I'm saying.
I do.
Anyway, so what's going on, sir?
I've never heard you discuss this before. I'm sure I'm not the only person who's had this issue, but I've got an orthodilin spray, where you can adjust how much you mix with the liquid inside the tank.
Right.
And I want to use Miracle Grow or the equivalent.
Yeah.
And the Miracle Grow is solid. And it won't suck up through the hose. You got to mix it with some water before you put it in the little tank.
Yeah, it's water soluble.
Right. So I a lot of times I'll put like a half a cup of Miracle Grow, and then you got to put more than a half a cup of water. You got to get it pretty thin before it starts doing right.
Right.
But I can't seem to get my if I put 2 cups of water in with a quarter cup of Miracle Grow, that's 4, or half a cup of Miracle Grow, that's 4 to 1. And so what do I turn the dial to? I tried doing it. If I want to do, say, a tablespoon to a gallon, you would think 4 tablespoons would make it come out right, but it doesn't ever seem to. It seems to just...
Well, unfortunately, one of the reasons why I went into horticulture, because it doesn't need much math, because I have number dyslexia. I'm serious. I have number dyslexia. I can't remember my phone number. I have to picture in my head, and then in my head I have to read the numbers. That's what it is. But here's the way you figure it out. Rather than ratios and all like that, if you look at whether it's Miracle Grow or Peters, any kind of fertilizer, it says how much to use over a given size area. Okay, and so if you'll figure that out, how much, whether it takes a teaspoon or tablespoon, a cup, whatever, see how much area that is supposed to cover, and then mix your dilution with that, or else move faster or slower. But so it's not so much what the ratio that you mix it with is how much you're putting out per square foot or per square yard or whatever, that kind of thing. So that's the numbers you need to work with. The amount of Miracle Grow over a given area.
Do you have any sense of how long it takes for that dialing spray to shoot out a gallon of water?
No idea. Never have used them. Yeah. I know what they are, but I just never have used them. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it typically takes a lot longer than I think it's going to take, and I end up, by the time I'm done, I've turned this thing up to a half a cup per gallon to get rid of the water.
Yeah. Well, like I say,
I'm just puddling up in the garden.
Yeah. It's not so much how many cups per gallon, it's how much of the fertilizer you're putting out over a given area, regardless of how long it takes. But I just never use those kind of things.
So just calculate how much Miracle Grow, put it in there, dilute however much I want, and then just spread that much over that
given area. That's right. And by the way, let me mention this: fertilizers, commercial fertilizers, the directions on how much to use. And keep in mind, I'm with the industry. I know what I'm talking about here. They recommend the maximum they can legally get away with recommending, the maximum, because they're interested in selling stuff. If you use it at half strength, your plants will be just as healthy, half the cost.
Yeah, I know. You've been saying that I knew you were going to say that somewhere along the call, because you've been saying it for years. But I'll certainly do that. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, good luck.
Well, thank you very much.
You bet. Java, there's a lot of weird stuff, man. When it comes to math, I'm just not any good at it.
Well, you know your strong suits, and
I do.
You know when to ask questions.
Yeah, let me show a couple of things real quick. We don't have any calls right now, right?
No.
Okay, toll free 1-877 MPB ring. Let's put up picture number 6 if we can. Stop by the Agriculture Museum on Lakeland Drive, and the Peggy Martin roses in full bloom. That is a Peggy Martin rose. It's 2 years old and it's completely full of bloom. Just want to throw that out. And then picture number 7, we got several raised beds in this garden. Picture number 7, just one of the things. These are winter flowers, the snapdragons, the dianthus, the coleus, some pansies. That's going to be replaced pretty soon with summer stuff. But I just want to show folks what to me a raised bed is. It's not sitting on top of the ground. It's partly sunk, it's partly raised, and you can surround it with other stuff if you want to kind of box it in. But a raised bed that's sitting on top of the ground needs to be watered a lot. If it's part in the ground, part out of the ground, a whole lot easier to take care of. But this is a small bed. I surrounded it with some wood. I've got some of that woven wattle fence there. But I just want to show you what a little small bed planted back in the fall can look like right now without any care at all. And then the last picture I want to show, this is from Clarksdale. I saw it. I just had to do this, Java. It's a rubber bush.
I know what it looks. Yeah, there it is. There it is.
It's a rubber bush. They stacked some tires up. They put one on the edge like a clock face, and they spray painted it white and blue stripes, which is, I guess that's J State colors, ain't it?
Yeah, that's close of you to put a little splash of red in there. That'll be Jackson State.
I thought you were blue and white.
Yeah, it is blue and white, but if you put a little splash of red, not over the top red, but then you will know it's straight up Jackson State.
Yeah, and also the 250th anniversary of our signing of the Declaration of Independence, it'd be patriotic looking too.
Yeah, what's America 250? That's it.
America 250. That's right. Anyway, we've got plenty of stuff to talk about. I've got all sorts of things I can share with you. But if you want to give us a call, it's toll free 1-877-MPB ring. I brought some plants, Java, to show off. This is the jack bean. Have I given you any of these for your kids to grow?
No, and I want to say is that a pea? I mean, it's a pod. It's in a pea, right?
Yeah. If you crack it open, well, I'll tell you what. Better than that, let me show a picture. Picture number 2. It's called jack bean. I soaked some seeds. This is a giant bean. It's about a foot long, and it's got big pea seeds in it. I soaking them. They're already starting to sprout. I put them in water a couple of days ago, and then overnight. Then I put them in some moist paper towels. They're already starting to sprout. But this makes a vine that looks like kudzu. I mean, it grows crazy, but it doesn't take over like kudzu, and it doesn't survive. It dies in the winter, but it makes these big, long beans, and it's just fantastic for kids. We grow these at the Agricultural Museum at the Herb Garden, mostly for all the school kids that come through, and they call it Jack and the Beanstalk bean. But anyway, that's one of those unusual heirloom type of plants. Hard to find it any place, but it's just one of those little things to do. I also let me show this. 2 pictures here, and we'll talk about more. No, I tell you what. Let me just throw this out. This is for Abram. Picture number 11. I took this picture the other day. This is a shrub that blooms in the late winter, springtime. It is intensely fragrant. Mm-hmm. I mean, it'll fill up a whole yard. And I want to show this because not many people grow it, but this is called Daphne. Yeah. And his little girl's name is Daphne. So I saw that. I said, I don't know if Abram's got a picture of Daphne, but there it is. So anyway, we got plenty of stuff going on in the garden. If you're thinking about planting herbs, I planted up a little pot. It's an old wash tub that's got holes in the bottom, and I put oregano, mint. I got a basil plant. I've got parsley. I've got a little bit of thyme. I've got something else in there. Anyway, I planted up a little pot full of stuff. I can put my arm around it just barely, but I took a pot, filled it up with some potting soil, and I put 5 or 6 different kinds of herbs in one pot, and it looks great. And it'll fit on a patio. It'll fit in the back of a pickup truck. But if you're interested in growing some stuff and don't feel like you got the energy or the time or the expertise or the patience, whatever, you can't go wrong with culinary herbs because you don't have to wait for them to do anything. You put them plant an oregano plant, you can use it that night because you don't have to wait for it to do anything. But I would recommend, especially with kids, 5-gallon bucket with some holes drilled around the bottom, but some potting soil and 2 or 3 or 4 different kinds of herbs. If you want to put a flower in it, that's great, but herbs, culinary herbs, are the easiest way to garden in a small space. And, if you're making spaghetti or chili or a pizza or something like that, you can just go out there and grab some and you feel good. Just feel good. We have time to take this call?
Yeah, let's make Ann feel good. Hopefully we can. This is Ann from Kosciuszko.
Good morning, Ann. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What's going on?
Well, I'm just curious about something. I've started noticing the thistles bloom.
Uh-huh.
And some are pretty pink, and then some are white. So what is that? Is that 2 different kinds, or what?
It might be. If they look alike, it's just seedling diversity. We have a lot of plants that are some are white, some are pale pink. There's a lot of variety out there. So there's not very many pure white plants. So anyway, it just sounds like a seedling diversity. Same thing happens with wild asters, and so that's all it is. Different plants. Some are showing the color a little bit more than others.
Okay, just curious.
All righty, appreciate your call.
Thank you.
And I would like to mention again, I'm going to be at the farmers market tomorrow morning, Saturday, from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Going to have my pickup truck. I've refurbished the garden. We'll talk about that next hour. Downtown Jackson by the Coliseum, right off Interstate 55. This plant month and the farmers market celebrating native plants. Got some native plant people. The Garden Club lady is going to have a demonstration, but and it's free, so come on down.
And go ahead and say this now. If you're listening to listen to this show on the Saturday replay,
oops,
you're already late.
What time did we do the replay on Saturday?
At 9.
Okay, well, I'm going to be there till 1.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, you got plenty of time.
I'm backing my truck in, and I got a little chair. I'm going to sit back there and just hold forth. And I got plenty of stuff to talk about, but you bring some stuff to talk about. And also visit the folks at the farmers markets all over the state. They've got local grown produce and herbs. They have crafts and arts. They've got different kinds of meats and things, birdhouses, antique flowers. So farmers markets are a really, really good place where the wheel meets the road. And I really encourage you, not just support them, take some kids there. Let them meet somebody who's actually doing something for a living and wants to share it with other people. I'm horticulturalist Felder Rushing, Java Chapman, all the other folks at MPB. We're going to take just a little short break, and we're going to come back with hour 2 of the Gestalt Gardener. It's all about gardening, mostly Mississippi, here the first week in April. We'll be back with more of the Gestalt Gardener here on Mississippi Public Broadcasting right after this.
The Measuring Show.
Since 1970, MPB has been enriching the lives of Mississippians.
Everything we do gives us the chance to grow and learn.
With your support, we are always there whenever and wherever you need us. Together through the years, together in the future. Please consider making a donation at mpbfoundation.org. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back. Java, you ready for another hour?
Man, locked and loaded, man.
Alrighty. You know, I felt a little brief ebullience there.
This was a hustle. Go back.
Ebullience. Ebullient is overflowing with woohoo.
Okay.
A lot of woohoo. Sort of like I had a little slice of Germaine there.
There you go. Yeah, Germaine, she is
ebullient.
Yeah, she's very ebullient.
And is she doing like a five? They were saying, is she doing a 5K run or something?
I think tomorrow she's doing a 5K at Jackson State, the Sweetness 5K. But just yesterday on Next Stop Mississippi, go listen to the podcast or watch the live stream from YouTube. She highlighted Miles for Mama, which is another 5K coming up, which is supporting maternal health.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's and also Jermaine and Marissa have been doing 5Ks. Like they're just on like a 5K kick. It's become addictive to them. They are almost quote unquote health nuts by now.
Not me. No sir. I don't like it.
Okay.
Although I do walk. I used to swim a lot till I boogered up my shoulders.
Well, I'll say, Felder, from where you are in the Fonder neighborhood. I'm pretty sure you've seen maybe the Blues Marathon.
Oh yeah, I can't
some of the other marathons.
I can't get out of my street. I can't. State Street, State and Old Canton Road. Forget it.
Yeah.
It's not quite as bad as the Jackson State games.
Oh well.
But it's just one of those things.
But you're going to be a couple night games this year too. So
really, okay.
Get ready.
Well, it's a call-in program, folks. If you've got some things on your mind you want to talk about with gardening, I promise I won't try to sell you anything. I won't be 100% organic. I prefer to be, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, in which case I will recommend what I think is be the safest and most effective approach. I'm not real big on chemicals and all, but sometimes they do just right. Like I just got over a cold, sometimes a little antihistamine will help you a lot.
Yeah, it takes me back to this really funny episode real quick of King of the Hill. King of the Hill cartoon they used to play back in I guess it was the 90s. But Peggy Hill, the mother of the son, Bobby Hill, was over the organic garden for the high school. And it just wasn't working. It just wasn't working out. So she went and visited the old teacher of the organic garden. And she was like, well, how did you grow all these beautiful vegetables and all this kind of stuff? He was like, chemicals. But this is the organic garden. It was like, no, how do you think I got these ripe tomatoes?
Yep, that's right.
Sometimes you have to do it.
Well, let me show a couple of pictures while we're waiting and see if anybody wants to give us a call. Again, it's toll-free 1-877-MPB-RING. Look forward to seeing a lot of folks at the Jackson Farmers Market tomorrow from 9 o'clock till 1 o'clock. It's going to be real informal. I can make some speeches if you want me to, but we could talk a little bit about native plants because that's their theme. The Garden Club ladies have got a very nice display. They'll get into a lot of detail with you. But also, there's a fellow, I think the name of his place is Artillery Ridge. He grows heirloom plants, digs them from his own yard. Used to be his mama's yard. And I always get I see plants that I was raised with, and you can't see them anywhere for sale. But anyway, it's just a great place. I had a terrific time in Clarksdale yesterday. Unbelievable time.
And I missed it, man.
That's okay. We had a good time. We walked around and the weather was just right. But let me show you a couple of pictures from what I did. Picture number 9 was the back of my pickup truck that, I know it's not really a great picture because it's too much contrast, but from one side to the other, that frilly stuff is oregano. I planted some oregano. Over on one side, I've got this dwarf agave, blue agave, and I planted some oregano around it. And last year, it went all the way to the other side of my garden. Oregano as a weed. I got a whole bushel of oregano. The Clarksdale smelled like spaghetti because I was digging that out. But then after I dug all that out, reworked the dirt, let's show picture number 10. This is what it looks like now. It's still, it looks a little bit ragged. Got some oregano over there under the agave, and it'll come back real strong. But now I've got basil. I've got some pretty little things. I've got succulents and marigolds, and it's just more of sometimes you got a weed. And some of your weeds are not weeds, but oregano is a thug in my little truck garden.
Have you ever been told you showing out with the garden in the back?
No, I'm demonstrating. Yes,
Point Felder.
And I started doing this job years. Well, I tell you how long it's been. My son was in a child restraint seat, a baby seat. He's 40 now. He was like 2 years old, and people are saying, I can't garden. I don't have a place to garden. I don't, whining about stuff. And I'm thinking, what's the most difficult place on earth to grow stuff for somebody who doesn't have much space? I said, the back of my truck. What I did the first year job is I put a little bag of potting soil, cut some little slits in it, put a tomato plant, a pepper plant, and a flower called periwinkle, shoved it up against the cab because there's no wind back there. And anytime I stopped for gas, I got water.
Okay.
And it didn't do great, but I had tomatoes, I had peppers, I had flowers. So the next year I went up to a bigger bag of potting soil for a couple of years, and now I've got this box made out of metal that fits right up against the cab. And I started doing this to show that if I can do this, you can garden. That's the whole idea, just trying to show. And it's not a great garden, but I think, who was it? Was it Mark Twain that said about the dog that could dance? It wasn't that the dog could dance well, but that the dog could dance at all.
There you go.
That's the whole thing. So anyway, this idea about starting small, if you got a 5-gallon bucket and you plant some stuff and it works, get your second bucket. Get the third one. Paint them. Put a little accessory in there. Put you some sticks spray painted purple if you want to. But just plant something out there. It makes you feel good. It connects you. Sometimes you get a butterfly, which is not horticultural, but it sure does give you a thrill. But anything you can do to get your hands into growing something, it'll make you feel good. And it's a good way to deal with this thing called solastalgia. I think we've talked about solastalgia here, Java. It's missing. So it's when, nostalgia is looking back at the way things used to be, who your people are, where you're from, all the good stuff. That's nostalgia. But solastalgia is when things are happening in a world that affect you and you can't do anything about it. The weather changes, politics, all that kind of stuff. Bad health. There's a lot of stuff that we don't have any control over, and it makes you anxious. And sometimes the anxiety will paralyze you. That's called solastalgia, or missing solace. And one of the things that they've come up with to help people deal with solastalgia is to plant something. Plant something easy, not hard or difficult, challenging. Plant something when you rub it, it smells good. Just plant something, and it'll help a lot. Anyway, who we got on the line here?
Let's go to Holly Springs and talk with Robin.
Good morning, Robin. What's going on up in North Mississippi?
Good morning, Felder. Nice to speak with you.
Thank you.
What is the best, hopefully non-chemical way to deal with black spots on my roses?
Well, there's a lot of home remedies that involve baking powder, and things like that. And I can't keep track of them because I don't spray roses because black spots not gonna kill it. I just ignore it. But I don't remember the recipes. If you go online and just Google natural controls for black spot, there'll be a lot of folks who have things for baking. I think it's baking powder, baking soda. It's one of those. I can't remember. But anyway, you mix it up and spray. But keep in mind that fungicides, whether they're natural or synthetic, they don't cure anything. They're protective films. So if you've got a black spot, it's going to be there all spring, summer, and fall. So you have to spray these things on new growth as a protective film to keep it from getting black spot, which is a lot of trouble. But we're looking at every couple of weeks or so, depending on the rain, and new growth comes out. So anyway, it's sort of like sunscreen. Every time you go out in the sun, put the sunscreen on before you get burned.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate it. In Java, I'm always a little reluctant to recommend home remedies because I don't remember proportions. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes it just makes people feel good. But it's the reason I recommend, instead of me giving advice on it, just go ahead and look it up, because that way, if something messes up, it ain't on me.
It's a good philosophy.
Well, just see why. Oops. Who we got here?
Let's go to Don in Ridgeland.
Morning, Don. What's going on?
How are you?
Fine. Oh, is it Dawn?
Dawn.
Dawn.
I think I threw the Dawn.
What's going on?
I have to be careful. I have to be careful about my customers. If I say Dawn from Mississippi, they're like Diane Jones.
Yep. Yeah. Well, anyway, what you got going on today?
Okay, I have a very old magnolia tree that is just beautiful. But over the last 6 months, all of the leaves, not just the brown ones that are dropping, but the entire tree has large brown dots all over it, and it's losing so many leaves, it's ridiculous.
And what kind of tree is it again?
It's a very old magnolia.
Yeah, gotcha. There are several fairly common fungal infections that will affect magnolias. They cause leaf spot. And for the most part, they're not going to kill the tree. They make it where you're embarrassed about it, and that's about it. But unfortunately, just like the caller before, we can't cure diseases with fungicides. They're protective films to prevent new infections. Whether it's hydrangeas or magnolias or tomatoes, whatever. So you'd have to spray the whole tree multiple times because those spores splash from those spots onto leaves, and when the leaves stay wet, they develop new spots. And so anyway, you'd have to spray all the time. And I just don't know how practical that is.
Let me ask you this. What if I put worm droppings? Do you think it could be a lack of nutrient, or
Nope.
just it is what it is?
Nope, it's a fungus. It's airborne. It's just floating around, looking for something that it likes to grow on. Just like black spot or tomato blight, you can put a tomato on top of the flagpole at the governor's mansion, and it's going to get leaf blight because it's something that blows around. It's like the fungal version of mosquitoes.
Okay. Well, I'm okay with it, dropping leaves. I just was hoping there was a preventative, but it doesn't bug me that much.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't going to fall on my house.
Yeah, and also keep in mind that this time of year for the next month or so, they're dropping last year's leaves anyway. As long as the new growth looks okay, I wouldn't worry about it at all.
Yeah. I'll check about the new growth because the leaves that are green also have it. But I'm okay with that. Thank you for telling me about it. I appreciate it.
Relax, breathe in, breathe out. There's a lot of stuff we can do stuff about, but this ain't one of them.
And my favorite quote of yours is "Let it go."
Or if you can't fix it, flee it, or fight it, flow with it.
I'm with you on that. Okay, y'all chin up.
Thank you, appreciate it. I know it sounds depressing, but it works. It works as well as anything.
Well, I have a pretty yard, and I'm excited about being in the garden, fixing to go out there right now. So,
well, have fun.
Okay, y'all too.
Okay, Java, I just sent you a picture. Oops, X. I just sent you a picture of a poster from Clarksdale. I don't know if they could put it on there or not, and I didn't crop it or anything like that. But they did a really fun little poster of me that has the Muppet Felder.
Okay, yeah, give us a second and we can get that. While we do that, let's go to our old friend Fletch, who wants to join the show this morning.
Fletch, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You sent me you sent me some pictures from you were lost someplace in the Delta, I could tell.
I was trying to do a little fitness walk and ended up out there at daybreak and saw the morning daybreak sun coming out, glistening off some old corn stalks and hitting the dew. So I was going to share that with you and the wood ducks and Indian bow.
Well, it's a wonderful place from my hometown, too. By the way, the duckweed is gorgeous. If you're not from around here, it looks like grass out there, but nope, there be snapping turtles under that. Duckweed is the smallest flowering plant in Mississippi. Each one of those individual plants has 2 leaves and a teensy little flower in between them. Isn't that a stupid thing to know?
It looked so perfectly smooth that Reed's oldest daughter, when she was about 2, walked right into it thinking it was a carpet.
Yep.
And found out the hard way.
Oops.
So a couple questions. I missed the first part of the show, but Chico called in. I didn't get the whole thing, but did you tell the person that asked about Howlin' Wolf that Chester Burnett is pretty good too?
No, I didn't. This is Java knows this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it was the I guess y'all interaction didn't lead to that.
Oh yeah, no. So anyway.
So my wife has gotten real interested in that garden I told you we were doing. Got everything up from seed. We put some tomatoes in that had been seeded for probably 3 or 4 weeks. And we may have accidentally overwatered it when we both watered instead of one of us.
Uh-huh.
Would that be causing some yellowing within this first week of putting them in the ground?
Yeah, it could. And also keep in mind that even though the air temperature is pretty good, the soil is still kind of cool. And so, we wait till April, not because it passed frost, but that's when the soil, let's put it this way, ain't no soybean farmers or cotton farmers planting stuff yet because the ground's too cold. So the main thing is you can let them dry out, a little bit between soakings. They don't have to be kept wet at all. They're tough plants.
Well, good deal. But some of the Indianola guys told me last night that they were putting soybeans in. Maybe not corn yet, but they got some of the soybeans in.
I drove right down through the middle of the Delta, from Clarksdale to Yazoo City, straight down Highway 49. And man, there's a lot of tilling going on. See, the corn is up pretty good, but there's a lot of stuff being planted. By the way, you had asked me in an email about a plant. Let's see if we can get our live stream guys to put up picture number 16 that I brought in. This is in my driveway in my front yard. It's a native plant that's called, we should call it Mexican primrose. It's a type of primrose. It is just a terrific plant. It looks gorgeous this time. It's all over the deltas, all over everywhere. And then picture number 17, this is the close-up of the flower. It's a terrific plant, and it spreads, it grows like crazy, but get this, as soon as it gets hot, it's gone for the year. You can just, it's just a good little springtime thing, and it's a terrific plant. Zero maintenance, grows in the cracks of driveways. So anyway, I appreciate you reminding me of that, Fletch.
Good stuff. Thank y'all. Good luck tomorrow.
Okay, Sir Spence. Appreciate you, man. See ya. What we got now, Jama?
We got our break. Our
break.
first break of the hour, man.
Okay.
We've been rocking and rolling.
Did you get that picture I sent?
I did. It should be in the folder, but let's do it after the break.
Okay, do the break. I'm horticulturalist Felder Rushing. I'm a goofball gardener, Felder Rushing. I should say that because I'm not a great gardener. I'm lazy. I'm tired. I'm busy. I'm gone a lot. When I bend over Java, I see sparkly things, and so I just want to plant stuff that works for me. It looks pretty. It smells good. You can eat it when you're tired of looking at it without me having to do a lot of stuff. And I found out you can do it in the back of a pickup truck or a raised bed or container on your patio or a raised bed out in the yard. But gardening is not hard if you start small and build on success. We'll be back with more of the Gestalt Gardener here on Mississippi Public Broadcasting right after this.
At the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience in Meridian, we believe in the power of the arts, storytelling, and education, just like Mississippi Public Broadcasting. MPB connects communities across the state with quality programs that inform, inspire, and engage. Their audience is loyal and appreciative of businesses that support public broadcasting, which makes underwriting on MPB a smart investment. Join us in supporting MPB. Learn more at mpbfoundation.org.
Do you have an item with a story to tell? Experience the Mississippi Antique Showcase April 17 and 18 at the CAPS Entrepreneurial Center in Stoneville. For a $100 donation, you can bring one item for an expert appraisal and enjoy food, cocktails, and PBS Passport membership. Attend as an observer for $60 and watch the appraisals live. Choose your time slot today and be part of this special MPB event. Visit mpbonline.org and get your tickets today.
School choice, rural hospitals, voter access. The 2026 Mississippi Legislature will impact you and your family for years to come. MPB brings you At Issue, a weekly analysis of the legislative session and the issues affecting you with perspectives from both sides of the aisle. Brandon Jones and new At Issue analyst Rebecca Staples join me, Wilson Stribling, every Monday at 5 p.m. only on MPB Think Radio and wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing and Java. I picked some flowers on the way down to the truck this morning. I want to see. I think we can show this. One is an antique rose. They call it Caldwell Pink. Not a great. It's got a real. It just smells okay. It's got a lot of petals. It's real frilly, antique-y looking. And Caldwell Pink is one of those roses that blooms from spring until fall with no care at all. No disease, nothing. We have it growing at the Greenwood Cemetery downtown Jackson. But this is an example of the kind of roses that will grow well for us without having to be sprayed and all. And then beside it, I have...
This seems like something you'll put in your on the lapel of your seersucker suit.
a boutonniere.
A boutonniere. There you go.
And right beside it has some kale I planted back in the fall, and kale is blooming right now. It's got a beautiful yellow, tall spikes of yellow flowers, and and you can eat it. Oh, and by the way, somebody called earlier. They sent an email. and said that, I was going to thin out my pea greens. I planted a whole bunch of peas, and I got to thin them out. And they said that pea greens, young pea plants, are considered a delicacy.
Ah, okay.
And anyway,
is that young peas? Maybe what they call
young pea plants. Two other plants I got. These are also heirlooms. One is a type of amaryllis. It's called Johnson's red amaryllis. It's that old red amaryllis you see. It grows in full sun. It grows easily with no care whatsoever, and it comes back and blooms every spring. It's just a really good one. And then the last one is a kind of a weedy plant. It's called hardy gladiolus. Some people call it wild gladiolus, but it's got sort of a shocking, I don't know, macraeolus. I don't know what color that is, but it's not purple. It's not pink. It's not, I don't know.
A violet,
yeah,
maybe?
I don't know. Anyway, this is the plant. It's called corn lily in Europe because it's a weed that grows in all the cornfields. But this is the type of plant that you see around old abandoned home sites. Once you get one, every corm you plant this year will make 3 next year. But these plants, the hardy gladiolus byzantinus, if you want to look it up, the Amaryllis johnsonii, and this Caldwell pink rose, these are the kind of plants that people have been growing for a long time, and when all the other fancy stuff dies, these are still there. And these are the kind of plants I want to start people with. So you can have a beautiful garden right now with plants that have zero care. These grow in cemeteries. I've said this many times before, but dead people can grow these things. So the trick is you find one here, you find a different over there, someplace else, you find all scattered around. What you do is you take these plants from all over and you put them together in one bed, and not only is it gorgeous, but it makes people think you know what you're doing.
I love it.
Just want to throw that one out. What about that poster? They did a poster. Ann Williams did a really good poster from my appearance at the Seed, the Collective Seed Garden Center downtown. Look at that.
Yeah, and it has the Muppet Felder and like an illustrated Felder with Granny's chicken.
Granny's chicken, that's right. And got MPB on there. Anyway, we had a good time. The garden club came over and had a whole bunch of people. And there were people from Minnesota, people from New York, people from California, people because the Jew Joint Festival.
Yeah.
And it was just incredible, all the people, and I got to make fun of them. And by the way, we got to see, I've already talked about that. Anyway, I want to appreciate, again, Ann Williams, who has both the Collective Seed and also the Traveler's Inn. A whole lot of fun. We have some lines open. If anybody wants to give us a call, toll-free 1-877-MPB-RING. This thing doesn't say red. There we go. Can we go to Bill now?
We can go to Bill in Neshoba County.
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
I'm good. I guess you are due some congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And good luck, Felder. What you got going on?
Okay, well, I have some perennial onions that are growing well, but all of a sudden they seem to have yellow spots on them. It hasn't affected their taste any, but what's going on?
Now, what kind of plant again?
It's a perennial onion.
Perennial onion. Spots on the leaves of onions. This is not something, I don't know. There, I said it. I don't know. Because, we have a lot of fungal diseases that splash around, but onions grow in cool weather. They grow in cool seasons, so I've never seen diseases on an onion. What I might get you to do is if you could take some of those leaves down to the county extension office, have them send them up to Mississippi State. They got a plant pathology lab, and that's all they do. They wait for stuff to come in for them to look at and see what it is. And then when you find out, let me know what it is, because I'll be ready for it next time. But I do know there's not any fungicides. Fungicides don't cure existing spots. Mm-hmm. And so as long, I would just cut out the bad spots and keep eating it. And if your intellectual curiosity, it gets the better of you, take it to the extension service. Let's find out.
Okay, I'll give it a try.
All righty. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Let me see. By the way, Java, this is something. We got another cheesy tune? Or you want to do that or what?
We do have another cheesy tune. I know you were about to cue up something, but let's go to Brandon.
Okay.
And talk with Kieran.
Kieran, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm very fine. And how are you both doing?
I'm doing fine. How about you, Java?
Hanging in there.
Yes. First of all, I want to tell you how much I like your program, especially because you encourage the new gardeners, and it's really good.
It doesn't. I don't preach to the choir. The choir thinks I'm dumbing horticulture down. I'm not dumbing anything down. I'm trying to get people to get started. Then you can build from there. But anyway, I appreciate that. Thank you, Kieran.
Okay. And my question today is about my peach drift roses that I had planted about 3 years ago.
What you say, roses?
Yeah, it's called peach drift.
Oh yeah, drift rose. Yeah.
Drift, yeah. They are like I planted some 7-8 bushes, and
got powder. I bet it's got powdery mildew on the leaves, doesn't it?
The mildew.
Yep.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, because they start good, and I see in the neighborhood they last longer in the year, like they keep blooming, but mine just after the first bloom, then they become less and less and kind of leggy.
Yeah, there's a couple of things you can do. Are these out in full sun? They got a lot of sunshine?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
But there is some shade of a tree also nearby.
Yeah, as long as they get a good bit of sunshine. When they get too much shade, they get kind of stretchy, kind of leggy. Also, I don't know if you fertilize, but if you put some fertilizer on it, use half of what they recommend. Shade and too much fertilizer will cause them to get kind of stretchy. Here's what you can do, though. If you haven't been fertilizing, give them a little bit of rose food, just a little bit, and water it in. But you can also prune these plants. They bloom on new growth, so you can prune them, which stimulates new growth. It'll keep it compact, and they'll bloom on the new growth. So pruning, a lot of times, will stimulate new flowering.
Okay. So how many times should I prune them, like
just whenever you get around to it. You prune them fairly hard in the middle of the winter. After the first flush of flowers, you can prune them like that. You can prune them a stem or two at a time. You don't have to cut the whole things. But every time you make a cut, they sprout back out with new flowering growth. So I would not prune them past about the middle of September, because the new growth won't have time to do anything.
Right. And should I put any manure in it?
Any what's on it?
Compost or anything? A compost or things like that?
Roses, they're fairly heavy feeders. If you could work, just lightly work the dirt up and spread some compost on that, that'll help the roots a lot. It'll encourage earthworms to come up, and they'll eat the compost, and they'll dig the dirt around your roots a whole lot better.
Okay, thank you. That answers my questions, and I hope I can do all this.
Well, thank you, Kieran. I appreciate it. Call us anytime.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I will. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Java, let's do the music.
Let's do it, man.
All right.
Let's take this break.
This is the tune. The year before last, I played a version of this done by Captain Kangaroo, Bob Keeshan. But this is another old guy, but it's an old flower. You want to talk about an earworm. Anybody needs an earworm, they get it in their head, they can't get rid of it, go online and look up April flowers. Bring May flowers. Anyway, it's just
April showers.
What did I say? April flowers.
You said April flowers.
Okay, April showers bring May flowers. It could be that April flowers bring May showers.
It could be.
I could use some rain. My garden could use some rain. Anyway, Java and I and Abram and John C. and all the folks at MPB, Mississippi Public Broadcasting, we're glad you joined us today. I've got a couple of really, really cheesy pictures to show when we come back. So stick with us, folks. We'll be right back here on Mississippi Public Broadcasting.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
together through the years, together in the future. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Do you have an item with a story to tell? Experience the Mississippi Antique Showcase April 17 and 18 at the CAPS Entrepreneurial Center in Stoneville. For a $100 donation, you can bring one item for an expert appraisal and enjoy food, cocktails, and PBS Passport membership. Attend as an observer for $60 and watch the appraisals live. Choose your time slot today and be part of this special MPB event. Visit mpbonline.org and get your tickets today.
School choice, rural hospitals, voter access. The 2026 Mississippi Legislature will impact you and your family for years to come. MPB brings you At Issue, a weekly analysis of the legislative session and the issues affecting you with perspectives from both sides of the aisle. Brandon Jones and new At Issue analyst Rebecca Staples join me, Wilson Stribling, every Monday at 5 p.m. only on MPB Think Radio and wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
All righty, folks, welcome back. And Java, I know we've got some people who have sent in stuff from the live stream, but I got an email the other day. Elizabeth Henry said, for some reason, stickers, the worst kind that really hurts, have cropped up in my lawn. I can't figure it out. My next door neighbor pretty much cuts his dirt. You know, he mows real close. And I wonder if this caused it as is on his side. Anyway, stickers right now, some people call them sand spurs, are little low-growing, look like tiny little tufts of ferns. They're not more than an inch or two tall. They are everywhere. The seeds of that plant sprout in the fall. They grow over the winter, have little tiny white flowers, and then the seeds have got those spurs on that stick. They stick to dogs' feet. They stick to flip-flops. If you got stickers right now, there's nothing practical that you can do about them right now. They're already gone to seed. You can kill them all you want, but still going to have the sticker seeds. Make a note on the refrigerator, put it where you can see it, and sometime in January or early February, you can use a liquid weed killer that's for clover or dandelions. Whatever kill clover and dandelion, which I don't recommend. I like clover and I like dandelions, but if you have got stickers, what will kill those two will kill the stickers. If they're young, January, late December, January, February, that's the time to control stickers for the whole year. Does not do any good to spray right now. But the most important thing, and this is stupid Felder stuff, Java. As a matter of fact, somebody up north, they did T-shirts called Mow High. If you raise your mower, your grass will get thicker. Stickers tell me you've got a real thin lawn. You're cutting too close. So raise your mower, and a lot of your stickers will disappear because they need sunshine to sprout.
Felder, you know what I thought you were going to say, man?
What?
In January... put a sticky note on your refrigerator that says, buy flip-flops.
They work, but unfortunately, they're not flip-flops for the dogs.
Yeah.
So anyway, toll-free 1-877-MPB ring. Give us a call, and let me show you something that I took this picture in England just last week. Last Saturday, went to a botanic garden, Royal Horticultural Society Botanic Garden. And I took this picture number 12. It's a pretty nice little, this is this is pruning. Now, people talk about pruning. There's everything. There's got extreme tight pyramids.
Scissor Hands lives there.
Yeah, they got little round meatballs, but they prune a juniper, and I can't even describe it, but it's just unbelievable. And this is, see up at the back, they got little meatballs on sticks.
I see them, yeah.
They do a lot of pruning over there, but I want to show this next one, picture number 13. You can have a nice-looking garden with just one prune shrub. Look at that prune, and the picture's not at an angle. They have it cut, the shrub in an angle. But that's a mixed thing. You got trees, you got flowering trees, you got all sorts of stuff. But having a pruned shrub in your flower bed, if you're not a neatnik, and I'm not a neatnik, I have one boxwood in my garden that I keep pruning into a tight meatball because it looks good, but it also lets people know I know what I'm doing. But get this, in the foreground, you see those 3 trees that got those kind of a yellow sticks on it?
Yeah.
This is normal. That's considered pretty. They do this in all the botanic gardens, right? Let's show a close-up of it. This is picture number 14, okay?
So this is at the Royal Botanic Garden?
Yeah, it's in every botanic garden. They all do this. They cut them back, and they sprout out these long things, and it's a stunning effect. But what they do after about this time of year, they cut all those long wispy things. It's called pollarding.
Yeah.
Some people call it crepe myrtle. But they cut them off, and they use they weave their fences with it. And I want to show what it looks like when they get done. Picture number 15. This is a pollarded tree.
Yeah, that's a nubby little sucker.
Yeah, it's looks like a fist on the end of a stick. And some people say, well, you shouldn't do that. Well, they've been doing it for a few hundred years in England, Royal Horticultural Society. So when people say you shouldn't do crepe myrtles like that, what they should be saying is, I don't want to do mine that way. But if the RHS does it, and they look good in Royal Horticultural Society Botanic Gardens, you can do it too. So I'm not saying you need to or should not need to. I'm just saying gardening is a big tent. We have people who like a neat lawn. We have people who like a wildflower lawn. We have people who like to grow things in long, skinny rows. Some people like to grow them in raised beds. Gardening is not a style. It's a do your own thing type thing. Anyway, I just want to show those pictures because it was a little bit different.
Now we got a phone call.
A phone call came pouring in.
Shout out to Jim from Jackson. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim. How are you?
I'm doing well, Felder. Thank you. And you, Java, how you doing, man?
Oh, man, hanging in there. Another day with this guy.
I used to have a neighbor that said, I'm hanging in and hanging on.
Yeah. Well, what's going on, Sir Jim?
Okay. I heard your comments about the stickers. I've got them in my backyard. And I put out pre-emerge herbicide last fall and in January, but it didn't stop them, I guess.
It stopped some of them.
Yeah, it probably did, yeah. Anyway, I was curious about your comment about it's a broadleaf weed killer that kills these things. A previous owner of this house had set out a whole bunch of narrowleaf variety, the non-spreading kind, in this yard. I don't want to kill it. Will the broadleaf weed killer kill that stuff?
Yeah, but it's not really hurting anything. But it will. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It'll
damage. Go ahead.
No, it really won't. Philosophically, I'm of two minds. I'm actually of 15 different minds about this. But yeah, weed killers will kill those if you catch them young and if you spray just the weeds without hurting stuff right beside it. But if there was an easier way to control the weeds and get down and pulling them by hand, I would do it myself. But as a matter of fact, I wish y'all could see my jeans right here. They're really nasty. I had them on yesterday, same jeans, because I wanted to wear them as a badge of honor. They're nasty because I've been on my knees pulling weeds. And if there's an easier way, I'd have done it.
Yeah,
it's sort of a Zen thing, too. If you can name your weeds, it makes them easier to pull.
Okay, well, I will just get on my hands and knees and get after it.
Good luck on it, man. I wish I had some better advice for you, but, just get into it. Just get into the zen of it.
I didn't call you for a feel-good answer. I wanted some honesty, and I got it. Thank you.
All right, man. Appreciate your call. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a commercial right there, Jim. I didn't call you for a feel-good answer.
Well, I was looking at the Mississippi Gardening Facebook, and somebody said they have a picture of these little mushrooms that are growing up in their potting soil in their pots, little furry mushrooms. I want to know what they are, what you can do about it. And the truth is, mushrooms or toadstools and puffball, they're sort of the flower version of a fungus. And the fungus itself is actually feeding on decaying organic matter, your potting soil. not hurting your plants. When it's happy, it sends up this version of a flower, which is mushrooms. So this is growing in her cilantro pots. Want to know if she needs to replace the cilantro. Are the mushrooms poisonous? Mushrooms very well may be poisonous. Just don't eat them, but they're not going to hurt your cilantro. I have a lot of little mushrooms that pop in my potting soil. I just admire them because they're not hurting anything. But if they're really bothering you, you could just pluck them and toss them. But there's no real treatment for it.
Now, I got a question about potted plants over here on the YouTube. As always, you can drop a comment and questions in the YouTube live stream chat. But Rita wants to know, how do you keep squirrels out of your pots?
Chicken wire. Seriously, you get some chicken wire, you spray paint it the color of your pot, or you spray paint it the color of your mulch, so it's not just silver, and just sort of wad it up and put it on there, and just chicken wire will keep them out. The flowers come up through it. But there's nothing else. The squirrels dig up my bulbs. They irritate. I used to have a little 22 rifle.
And show them who's boss.
Yeah. And it wasn't fun. I decided there's no way.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I had a neighbor who put it. This is years ago. He put a squirrel trap out in his yard. He had 3 squirrels. He knew the 3 squirrels. He caught the 3 squirrels, and before it was all over, he caught 18 others. It became a hobby with him. And I said, your squirrel trap is attracting squirrels to our neighborhood. And he caught and released 18 squirrels. It became a hobby with him.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. You can go on YouTube and look at other people. They have these contraptions. For the squirrels,
they're going to figure it out.
They figure it out.
But I've got a real. It's not rare, but not many people grow it. It's a plant called voodoo lily. A voodoo lily, it comes up, it gets about knee-high the stem, and then it makes a flower that looks like you're waving at somebody. It's a spathe is what it's sort of like a peace lily, and it stinks. No, it stinks. It stinks. It smells bad to attract flies that think it's decaying meat to pollinate it. It's a really exotic plant. I'll bring some pictures in, but anyway, it got up about 5, 6, 8 inches tall. And I put some chicken wire around it because the squirrels love to dig those corns. So anyway, I use chicken wire. The difference between me and other chicken wire people is I spray paint mine just because I think it's prettier.
Okay. Now, another question we have is from Amanda. Starts off with best wishes to Mr. and Mrs. Rushing.
Thank you.
But then she says, when you plant pumpkins and a small... Let's see. You plant pumpkins and a small variety to grow on a trellis. Okay, let me see if I can get this correct. She wants to plant pumpkins in a small variety and grow them on a trellis, and she's looking for the best that grows in Walthall County.
Ooh, well, Walthall County is a special place. That's where the Rushings settled back in the early 1800s. But it ain't special as far as pumpkins are concerned, or gourds or anything. They'll grow just as well in Iowa as they will in Walthall County. And unfortunately, there's so many varieties that I couldn't begin to say which would be best. They got little tiny ones. They've got some that are, not that you can easily hold in your fist. They got big ones. So there's so many different kinds of pumpkins.
Well, now I get it. Yeah, so I guess it's small variety. So what are some of the small ones?
Don't know. Can't remember.
Okay.
There's dozens and dozens, and I get cross-eyed.
Yeah,
it's
just so many.
It's like azaleas. Okay, there's lots of different azaleas, but to me they're pink, red, or white.
Yeah.
That's about it. But I can't remember. If she wants to shoot me an email, I'll be glad to look some stuff up and learn. But I just can't remember stuff like that. But if she wants to go online and just Google miniature pumpkins or small compact, use the word compact. Because otherwise she can come up with all these little small pumpkins. What she wants is a compact plant that has small pumpkins on it. But there's a whole bunch of really cute ones, a whole bunch of them.
Now, I don't think this next one is much of a question, but Pamela from Harleston, she just wanted us to know that she's out watering my new trees, listening in my ear pods. Sadly, I've lost 1 cherry and 2 dogwoods, but the other 30 are doing just fine. She says it's Project Eliminate Lawn.
There you go. Well, a couple of things I want to point out. First of all, cherry trees do not do well in Mississippi. They're real popular. Nobody's ever shown you cherries growing them. They need a long cold spell. They grow best in further north or up in the mountains. Dogwoods, Southern Living says, of all the plants you can put out in your landscape, of all the plants that's most likely to die, it'd be dogwoods. Now, they grow wild, and you think that's a good thing, but Southern Living says over the decades, for every 3 dogwoods that are planted, only 1 survives.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's because you don't see them growing along fence rows out in the full sun. You always see them in the woods on the slope because that's where they grow. If you put them out in the sun, they will survive. A few of them will. But here's the trick on those and other plants. Always dig a wider hole. Wider than you feel comfortable. If you don't feel stupid about it, it's not wide enough. And then loosen up the potting soil when you pull them out of a pot and plant them a little bit on the high side to allow for settling. Because if they stay wet, they're going to get root rot. If you keep them watered, they're going to get root rot. And then the last thing, this is a really crazy sounding thing. There's this stuff called mycorrhizae. I don't buy into all the hype and all the gimmicks and stuff like that, but mycorrhizae is a real thing. It's sort of like a fungus that grows on the ends of roots, and it can multiply the effectiveness of roots something like 20 times. Dogwoods require mycorrhizae. So if you plant a dogwood, go out in the woods or somewhere else, you find a really good-looking dogwood, I mean a great-looking dogwood, and dig up some of the dirt under the tree, 3 or 4 inches deep, and then stir that into your dirt. You're introducing the mycorrhizae that's not found in potted plants. It sounds crazy, but it works. Oh, by the way, let me show one last picture. This is picture number 18. I'm talking about native plants tomorrow at the farmer's market. Going to be there from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Come and go. Just come and go. But I mentioned the Mexican primrose earlier, but this pink flower is a hybrid variety of a plant that's called wandflower.
Oh, wow.
Wandflower. The Latin name is Gaura, G-A-U-R-A. Gaura is an incredible native plant. It blooms from now until frost. Is a great pollinator plant, but Gaura is an upcoming plant. It's been around for a long time, but garden centers are finally carrying it. It is an unkillable native plant. Beautiful, compact, and if you can find it, Gaura, Gaura. It's a great one. Not commonly sold because it doesn't look like much in a pot. But when you put it in your yard, it comes back year after year after year, loaded with butterflies.
Now, I do have another question from the YouTube chat, and it's from Margie Harrelson. She's been in the YouTube. She was actually our very first comment in the YouTube chat, and she's been hanging in there. And she asks, what in the rural horticulture pictures you were showing, it was a pink blooming tree?
Yeah, that was. I don't remember if it was. I don't know if it was a flowering cherry or a flowering apricot or one of those kind of things.
Okay.
But I took this picture last week in. There we go. In England, they were a few weeks ago here in Mississippi. England's a little bit. They're delayed.
Mm-hmm.
They don't plant stuff till May for summertime. But I don't know whether. And it could be a red bud. If you want to, but any kind of flowering tree.
Okay. Well, let's go to our last call of the hour, not because we're shutting off the phones, but because we're coming to the end of the show. This is Joe from Jackson.
Good morning, Joe. How are you?
Hey, fella, I just want to tell y'all that you two are a real gift to the universe. Y'all brighten the spirit. Y'all brighten my spirit every time I listen to you, and I just want to thank y'all for what you do.
Well, I appreciate that. Java, I wish Crystal and Susan could hear that.
Yeah, I wish they could too. I would keep it there.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. We're just trying to, it's a job, but we're trying to have fun.
100%.
Well, you do.
Thank you.
You add a little fun to everybody's life.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I guess I'll be seeing some folks tomorrow. Just come and go, 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, farmer's market by the fairgrounds right off of High Street, I guess. Yeah, High Street.
Yeah, that's High Street.
Yeah, downtown, right off the interstate of Jackson. I'm going to be there in my truck. Got all sorts of stuff I'm going to talk about. Garden Club ladies going to talk about native plants. I got some plant sellers there. And mostly we're just going to make it informal. If you got some stuff to talk about, bring them in a bag. Not if you have a snake that's chopped up into little pieces, I don't want to see that. Okay, but other than that, let's have a good time. Java, it's a pleasure as always.
Man, Felder, this is a bright spot in my week. Look forward to it, and I'm glad you're here, man.
And I want to give a shout out to Abram and John C. back there.
Oh, they always working, humping.
Yeah, they got a good sense of humor too. But anyway, folks, we'll be back next week here with the Gestalt Gardener. Let folks know it's available on YouTube. Go to YouTube and type in Gestalt Gardener, and you can see this 24/7. Or go to mpbonline.org and take it from there. I'm going to go to the farmer's market tomorrow. I'm going to try to find some stuff in my yard. And got a next-door neighbor with a 13-year-old. I'm going to see if I can teach him how to get dirty this weekend. See y'all next week. Be safe and be careful.